Welcome, Taurus, to a summer solstice deep dive video for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. On June the 21st, we have a huge energetic shift which ushers in cardinal quadrant 2, the next 13-week period of the overall astrological year. It also sees the sun arrive in the protective, nurturing Cancer. But what would it mean for you personally, Taurus? On the screen is your event chart of the exact moment the solstice occurs. I'm going to unpack this for you, and by the end of the video, you'll have a clear picture of what this shift is about in terms of your vitality, work, relationships, or finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. But please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. Western tropical astrology is a Mediterranean construct. I know in the southern hemisphere it will be the winter solstice, and it will also be the shortest, not longest year. But what happens with Western tropical astrology is each of the earth points linked to the cardinal signs of Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn brings in that new quadrant. It's a very powerful time, but what makes it even more powerful this year is not just the arrival of the sun in Cancer, it's the other planetary players. So on the screen is your event chart, and there's the sun at 0 degrees in the sign of Cancer. Now, the big takeout is the energetic shift for you personally is that Uranus has had such an impact on the heavens since it arrived into the sign of Gemini. And over the last 4 weeks, that's all been amplified by the sun being in that quick-witted air sign. But for you, that's very much about money, and it can be about values. It can be about your self-worth. It could be about things you've been trying that are different, that are more entrepreneurial. But the key is, although the sun has moved into the water sign of Cancer, for you, that's house 3. So the trick over the next 13 weeks, and particularly over the next month of Cancer season, is to combine your thinking with your emotion. Now, Jupiter has been in that part of your chart for just under 13 months, but has been challenged all along the way. But what's absolutely scintillating about this event, adding to that extra burst of vitality, is that Mars, the planet of thrust, is in a fabulous link with Jupiter, a fabulous link with Mercury, but also a fabulous link to the ruler of the sign of Cancer, the moon. But you also have now Chiron, newly arrived in your zodiac sign only a few days ago, forging a wonderful sextile to the sun too. So all of that brings about a big, more earthy and more watery vibe, which is excellent for you to really start to make sense of some of the potential overwhelm that you may have been feeling of late. And that isn't necessarily at an end. And that's being caused by Uranus clashing with the nodal axis. And that's a very, very tense aspect. It last happened 84 years ago. That's how rare it is. But what we do have is the sun takes the pressure off in a way because that links brilliantly to the north and the south node. So if there's a plan or project or something you're aspiring to that you really do feel connected to in a very positive way, I feel that that can now start to gain traction in a very dynamic manner for you. If there's a catch on this event for you personally, yes, your ruler Venus is in a broad opposition with Pluto, which can create some intensity and complexity around all sorts of relationships. But I think really it is Neptune in a square with the Sun. It's not quite perfected at this exact moment, but it's close enough to be a square of some impact. And what I think it can do, Neptune, is if you doubt yourself or doubt your ideas, or doubt your beliefs, or doubt the things you're enthusiastic about, Neptune can dissolve your drive through that self doubt. So it's going to be very important to believe in whatever it is you're excited about. But there's so much here to really go for. And Of course, Pluto does continue at the top of your chart as it will do for many years. So the suggestion is that what you're thinking about or what you're talking about is potentially going to have a huge impact on your place in the world. Now, it can be around your work, it could be around your own business, it could be around the creative talent you've got, but somehow or another, you're going to find yourself ending up in the spotlight, even if it's not something you actively seek. So I think really with Jupiter, after all its struggles in that third house over the last 13 months, it's now very, very close to Mercury. Jupiter can be about trade, Mercury can be about marketing. If you do promote, sell, have your own channel, have your own small business or side hustle, Mars is giving you so much more extra conviction, but most of all, extra confidence and energy too, Taurus. So there's so much to go for. A very playful moon as well, linking back to Mars. So I think it's a time to really go for it. And if those doubts are lingering in the back of your mind, don't diss them, don't ignore them, pardon, be conscious of them, but don't let them dominate you because it could be that someone older around you or a little bit more traditional is poo-pooing your ideas because they don't quite understand the quality of them. I'm going to summarize those four areas of vitality, work, relationships, and finances next. But just to say, I've slashed the price of my personal horoscope reports. For many years, it was buy two, get 30% off. It's now buy one, get three, three for the price of one. Why? Because the cost of living increases means I want to make these charts still as accessible as possible. You get your life roadmap report, which helps us to understand the patterns that are played out in our lives. Really important to make better future decisions. Free, your 12 months transit forecast, and also your draconic soul karmic analysis. On the screen is my Jupiter No More Blocks video. If you don't actually see it, please click on the information eye and that will take you to the video. And also you can check out my Gemini new moon forecast as well, which has only just occurred. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, it'd be an absolute pleasure. Please see my testimonials below. And if you've yet to sign up for your free daily written horoscope, fire to your device each morning for your early day celestial pit stop, please see that below too as well. So energy. I think your energy's on the up as long as you have the conviction around what you're doing. If you are a little bit confused or uncertain about what your future direction is, I think this would be an excellent time to talk to someone who has got good motives, is protective and caring, very Cancerian, but also is using their ideas and intellect to help you to understand your situation. I think it may just be a case of deciphering some of the confusion that Neptune can bring. As far as your career is concerned, I think that Uranus linked with Pluto, Uranus is still strong in a positive way in that context, but it's very much about going with the flow with all the technological changes or ways that life is changing generally. If you can flex, the much greater chance you have of capitalizing. When it comes to your romantic situation, you can see that your ruler Venus is right down there at the bottom of your chart, but in the proud sign of Leo. But the fourth house is very much about how things feel. And of course, the sign of Cancer is very nurturing. If you have good dialogue with someone and also feel very comfortable with them, the chances are the tie will strengthen. Also, if you can be playful, Mars in that lovely angle to the moon and also linking to these guys too means that if you're single, you could even take the first initiative to get to know someone better. If a relationship isn't working quite so well at the moment that you're in, it may be because you're clashing about what the future direction should be, or maybe because your values don't quite align. As far as your financial situation is concerned, I think having Mercury and Jupiter together in that wonderful conjunction is very, very helpful. But Uranus does suggest that things can still happen very, very quickly, very suddenly, but also in a very positive way too. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Taurus. All the best.